What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Cinema Discussions. Today, I want to talk about a subject that I don't think ever gets brought up today when it comes to movie and television, and it's a trope that has its roots in theater. Believe it or not. So let me ask everyone this. Have you ever had that moment where all of a sudden you're watching a TV show or a movie, and all of a sudden you recognize someone famous or someone that you know, and you're like, "Hey, look at him! Oh my God, he's got a cameo on this." But now let's take it a little step further. So say you're watching an episode, and all of a sudden you realize that this guy is he a recurring character that played by this said famous person that you know and love and you're marking out for. Say he lasts a whole episode, but then he doesn't show up in another episode, doesn't come back until sometime later. Well, the correct term for that is called stunt casting. So it has its roots in theater, because what stunt casting is, all it is a special term or gimmick used to drum up sales or to try to get eyes to watch a product. And it has its roots in theater because a lot of shows would do this. They would advertise for someone famous to come to be on their show, and all it is to just get butts and seats and to sell tickets. Okay, and of course, a good prime example of this happened to me. So when I was 16, my mom and my aunts, and the rest of my family, my cousins and all that, once when I was 16, we went into the city to see Wicked on Broadway. Yes. And the reason why was because it was advertised that Golden Girl Rue McClanahan, who was still alive back then, and Ben Vereen were going to be part of the show, playing the roles of Madame Morrible and the Wizard, respectively. So I was like, okay, I know who Ben Vereen is, and Rue McClanahan. So I had some familiarity. So they were like, sure, why don't you come with us? So we did. And when we got there, the whole theater was packed. I kid you not. And of course, once they got on stage, or their scenes when they came on stage, like literally everyone just lost their shit. Like literally, they broke character for a moment to address to just say thank you for the crowd. Then they continued on with the scene. So in a way, it works. Okay. So when it comes to stunt casting, it definitely works in theater. But what about television and movies? Sometimes it works to mixed results. And and of course, a lot of people say, it really doesn't do much. All it is, it's like, okay, here they are. It's like, wait, what? That's it? It's like a wet dog fart in your face. It's like, why? Why would you spend all this time? And here they are on this episode of television or this movie, and you're like, wow. And you feel like that they've just been wasted. A very good example was apparently Stevie Nicks made an appearance on an episode of American Horror Story. For all you American Horror Story fans, you know what episode I'm talking about. So apparently they build up, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, here she is, I'm Stevie Nicks. And we're all like, what? You're like, you're just wondering, like, what the hell? You're like, here she is. It's like all that build up, and you're like, why is she even here? Why is she even part of this damn episode when she contributes nothing to the plot? And of course, believe it or not, this was so bad that Chris Jericho, of all people, went on a rant on his podcast. Yes, I was laughing. I'm like, well, yeah, it definitely works. It definitely does not work when it comes to stuff like that. By the way, it can work. So now it's flip the script to wrestling, because technically it has worked. Does anybody remember Mike Tyson? Yes. Remember the whole build-up to WrestleMania 14. All of a sudden they realize, oh, Mike he's suspended from boxing for biting Vander Holyfield's ear. So, hey, let's get him, okay? And sure enough, it worked because we're not. Ticket sales were crap going into WrestleMania 14. And of course, you had the classic good guy and bad guy between Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels. So what a great way to get over your main event and get more eyes on your product. And Mike Tyson, in a way, helped that product. So yeah, so in a way, you can definitely see that stunt casting does work in certain degrees in some forms of medium. But with television, oh my God, it really can be a big stinker. Okay, depending on what kind of show you watch, whether it's American Horror Story or I have Star Trek. It's on commercial playing in the background. So in a way, it kind of works. And of course, it's like you have to. It's all when it comes to the producers or the writers' part. It's like you got to make sure that if you're going to write a character and get someone to make some people watch, get someone that can act, or get someone that would actually fills something that would make people want to watch the episode. Like if you're gonna have a musician be on your show, make him play a musician. Okay. Here's another good example. as you know, like during this whole quarantine thing, Caitlin and I were watching Monk, and we're not during the last season of the penultimate season of Monk. Meatloaf, who I'm a big fan of, played a character, a cultist, or a guy that handles the occult. To a T, and I'm like, so in a way it kind of worked because Meatloaf's like neuroticism and the fact that he copes with this kind of dark and gothic stuff. He played his character to perfection. But all you're thinking is why would he play that rather than a musician? Because Meatloaf's a good musician, he's a good singer. But it just kind of, either way, it was a kind of a mixed bag. But still, it was entertaining as hell, that episode, and I really enjoyed it. It's probably one of my favorite Monk episodes of the entire catalog. For any Monk fans out there, if you've ever watched it. So, yeah, so it just baffles me. And, seriously, why? It's like, why would you spend all that time just to get someone to play a character and you know it's not going to pan out well? Come on. This is the problem with Hollywood. Get your heads out of your asses. Know your target audience. If you're gonna make someone a part of your show, like where it's a certain character, like I said, make it be a rock star. Make it be a like a rapper or a professional athlete. Get the guys to play that character, okay? And hey, it could be a little tongue in cheek references throughout the episode. Hey, hell, you could do something like in Baywatch where like not the show. I'm talking about the Baywatch movie with the one with the Rock, which let's say about that, where he kept making like references to Zac Efron's like past, as like oh hey, High School Musical, what's going on, or something like that. That would totally get over. That would make people laugh. That would make people want to watch. Okay. That, to me, know your context, plan it out, execute it, and there you go. You would definitely have some good results, okay? But to me, it will always, if you're going to get asses in seats or people to watch your product, Broadway is your best way, okay? I understand Broadway is coming back. Hey, jazz up Broadway. Hey, announce some big A-lister to be on your show, okay? Where it's in Aladdin. And of course, hey, I find it ironic is that when I saw Aladdin on Broadway, the guy who voiced Jafar in the actual movie played Jafar on the freaking Broadway show. So there you go. Comes full circle. It works. So yeah, know what you're doing. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Okay, I want to hear your thoughts on stunt casting. If it's something that grinds your gears, let me know. But like seriously, it's something that A needs to be fixed on, needs to be reworked, or just needs to be thrown to the wind and forget about it, okay? So I want to hear your thoughts about it, all right? Okay, so that does it for this week. Thumbs up for videos, subscribe my channel, and of course, stay tuned for some more exciting content.